Greetings, YouTube. So today we are back in Primarch mode. Lots of Primarchs lately. So we have Rogal Dorn, the Primarch of the 7th Legion Imperial Fists. So quick look at the box here. I will put up pictures so that you can see. We got him on the front like that. Rogal Dorn, 7th Legion. More of the same, really. Nothing new here as far as box art. That one too. So let's have a look at the figure here. So a couple of things right off the bat. I've noticed that with Rogal Dorn here, I don't know if it's because of his armor being the color that it is, and I want to say that's not, I don't believe that's paint. The actual armor is that color. It seems to be a little lighter than Guilliman or the Lion, and I'm assuming that's because of the plastic. It doesn't feel cheap. It just feels lighter than, and not as bulky or heavy as the other Primarchs. So let's have a look at his aesthetics. This is his look during the Horus Heresy and the Great Crusade. This is the armor that he wore when he was the Praetorian of Terra, the Protector, the Guardian of Terra. We got nice, intricate detailing on the armor. Again, I'm 99% sure that none of this is painted. This is all colored plastic. But I do believe that it looks good. I don't see like you know, when you get metallic, supposedly colored plastic in Marvel Legends, you get that swirling effect or whatever. I do not see any of that in Mr. Dorn here. Lots of ornate designs. Got the Imperial Fist logo over here. Some jewels encrusted. 7th Legion. These hip skirts have some designs on them. Designs on the gauntlets. Have a look at his chest here. Got the eagle and the lightning bolts. Got that molded detail in the abdomen area. More jewels. Got the eagle at the top. Let's have a look at the back. You do get a cape. We'll talk about the cape in a little bit here. And then you have his power pack slash backpack. Under the cape here, a little bit more details. See those rivets? Got some different color right there on the back. That's good. All right, so that is him at a glance aesthetically. Okay, so let's talk about some of these things on him that I'm not gonna say I don't like them. I just am a little bit I think it could have been a little bit better, or a different idea would have worked. So let's start with the cape. The cape here is pre-posed, flowing to his left when you're looking at him from the front. The cape itself looks great. It's an awesome design. Very clean, very nice. However, this sweeping motion looks cool, but it would be nice if they gave us a regular cape that was just draped straight down. Like, if you wanted to give us this, fine, and I'm sure this is how the mini looks, the miniature, but in action figure form, it would be nice to have a cape that is not pre-posed and going this far. Now, you know, his loincloth is pre-posed, but it's not like it's blowing all the way sideways. It's just a little bit of a tilt. I can live with that. This is a touch much. I'd much rather it be either this and another cape, or just straight down. I mean, folds and stuff is fine, but that flare out is way too much. The other thing that I am a little bit iffy on is the head sculpt. And not really the head sculpt per se, the hair sculpt. His face looks fine. It fits in with the aesthetic of the brand. However, his hair, it looks like it's just a bit much. And actually, we can take this off real quick. I don't have the ball in there because I'm going to do head swaps here in a little bit. But his hair is a little bit too much. It's nearly as big as half of his head. It's a touch much. I envision Rogal Dorn with more of a buzz cut, spiking up a little bit at the top. This is a bit much for me. Again, the sculpt itself is great. The face, that's fine. It's the hair that I'm a little bit iffy on. But I do have solutions for that if you're like me. Okay, so here was my first idea for a swap. So this head is from Mezco Sovereign or Supreme Knight Batman. This is the old Bruce Wayne. This is the kind of haircut I envision Rogal Dorn having. I think that looks pretty good. Now it would sit a little higher if I had the ball joint in there, but yeah, I kind of like that look for Rogal Dorn. That's what I envisioned hair-wise. And then there is a picture circulating around, and I think it was a picture of Rogal Dorn in his Centurion armor, where he had mustache and mutton chops. So I took the old school Old Man Logan head, Marvel head, sculpted on the mustache to connect his mutton chops. And then let's see how that looks. So there's another look. Again, this sort of buzz cut kind of hair is what I envisioned for Rogal Dorn, based on artwork and things like that. I don't know, maybe this is more accurate. And again, I'm sure this is how the mini looks. The mini probably looks exactly like this. One thing JoyToy has done is they have been very true to the miniatures. So the sweeping cape is kind of weird, too big hairdo, I bet is on the miniature. And I'll put a picture of the miniature up here so we can see. In fact, let's go ahead and do this. And then I'll put the miniature up and see if this is what the issue is. All right, let's have a look at articulation. Okay, so let's start at the head here. I do have the ball joint on now. So looking up, he can go about that far until his hair hits the back piece here. He can look down a little bit on that ball too, but you also have a ball joint at the neck, which gives you a whole lot more. Not backwards so much, but definitely forwards. And of course it can turn on either joint. Then you have the, and that's a cool feature right there, like that. You got this shoulder pad, shoulder pauldron here is on the Primarch setup, where you can work it down so that you can get more articulation with your arms. And thank the Emperor, with this figure I do not have the bad QC issues like I had with the Lion. You do have that bicep twist there. You are double jointed at the knee, or not the knee, at the elbow. With the pauldron out of the way, you can actually access some of it, like so. Your wrist is on a ball joint as usual, so you get all the movements there. You get a ball joint at the mid-torso, a ball joint at the hips. These side skirts are on little, like, leather straps connected to the belt, so they will move freely. Careful with them though, they probably, if you work them too much, they're going to work their way off and you'll have to reglue them. You have the typical setup at the hips with the ball there, and the drop down mechanism is in place. So you can get your good range of movement up to the side. You can actually go a little bit, yeah, about that far. You can go backwards quite a bit. You can twist, double jointed knee, but you only get to about there because of the armor. And then the typical foot and ankle set up with the toe articulation. So he is typical for a Primarch as far as his articulation goes, and that articulation setup is good. It does work well for them, even though they are much bigger than the Space Marines. And also too, forgot to mention, you do have the butterfly mechanism in there so that you can get him to cross his arms and get his hands together. Let's move on to accessories. He does have a decent amount of accessories. He does not have any extra head sculpts though, which is kind of disappointing. Would have been nice to get him in a helmet. I don't know if the mini doesn't ever show him in a helmet. Maybe that's why we don't get one, but that would have been nice. So you get his bolter here. His bolter is called the Voice of Terra, I believe. And it does have a removable clip. It's a little bit shallow in there though, so it comes out real easy. So not sure if that's really worth it, but it is a thing. You get his cool chainsword, Storm's Teeth, and that has a cool guard on it. That thing's awesome. So I do like this. This is very nice. Very nice. His backpack slash power pack does come off, and it also comes out a little bit too easy as well, but it does come off, so I guess you could count it as an accessory. Now this thing here, this eagle, plugs into the back of his armor. I'm not sure if it's supposed to actually come out. Mine came out very easily, so it didn't break or anything, but it may not, I don't know. And then as far as hands go, you get two open, kind of relaxed hands. You get two fists. You get two gripping hands. And then you get two trigger hands, which he has on him. And then last but not least, curiously, you get two frag grenades, which is a nice touch, but there's nowhere to really put them on him, so they kind of just are loose. But I mean, I guess more props are more props, right? And one cool thing about him as far as gear storage, he does have a little hook on this side skirt that you can put his gun on. So, Voice of the Emperor, or Voice of Terra, can hang from his side. That's nice. They should do this a whole lot more often, because that looks cool. All right, comparison time. Okay, so here we have the brothers together, and it looks like Rogal Dorn is actually the taller of the three, at least figure-wise. In the lore, they're around the same height, and actually I think the lion is supposed to be the taller one out of these three. It's supposed to be like him is a slightly bit taller than Guilliman, and then Guilliman is like a slightly bit taller than Dorn. According to some stuff that I saw, I don't know, it's variable, and oftentimes you have conflicting sources, so it is what it is. But they do look good together. And then here's a real quick one with my custom lion on a McFarlane Space Marine body. And then here we have the 7th Primarch with his Gene Sons. We have Tor Garadon, and then some other, these guys are aggressor size Space Marines, and then you got a regular size Space Marine. And yes, he towers over them, but remember, he's supposed to. He's a Primarch. Then we have the Primarch here with a McFarlane Ork, who could be a war boss in your JoyToy stuff, and then a JoyToy Terminator. And then to round out these comparisons here, we got Captain Carter from Marvel Legends and a Masterverse custom Barbarian Warrior dude. Something I noticed with the Primarchs for JoyToy, as now that we've got three of them, it's a good time to take a look at them together aesthetically, and the style of body, the style of head, it being kind of on the small side, when they're all together with that sort of head on, it looks fine. It fits. Everybody looks like they fit in the same universe. The issue though is that when you go to try to switch heads, maybe you get to a point where they don't really fit with everyone. Like these guys look like they go together a little bit, but then he looks out of place, you know? And honestly, body-wise, they start to look a little bit weird too. So here's what I'm thinking. If I'm gonna go with different heads, then I have to do this. Okay, so I don't know if this is noticeable, but now that I have all the different more 1/12 scale type heads on them, I have adjusted their height with the drop down hips so that they're a little bit longer, and now those heads don't seem so out of place, and with each other they fit. So it's kind of like you gotta either go all in or not. If you go with different heads, you probably need different heads for everybody, at least Primarch wise. And then if you're not, then stick with the regular heads, and then you can keep them in their stock kind of position. All right, final thoughts on Mr. Rogal Dorn here, the Praetorian of Terra. Really like the figure, really like the figure. Couple of things, like I said, probably based on the mini, his hairdo, I'm iffy on. The cape, while I like it, I would like an alternative cape. Other than that though, it's spot on as far as the lore. It looks like him, it moves like it's supposed to. I didn't have any QC issues. It's a nice release, a very nice release. And with this Horus Heresy stuff, I mean, all of his Gene Sons from the 30th millennium are coming soon. So you get Cataphracti Terminators, you get all the different Battle Brothers, you get Sigismund and Fafnir Ran. I mean, they're going all in. Who knows how far they're going to go into the 30K. I mean, we may get every single Primarch. I don't see why not. So, loving life right now if you're a Warhammer 40K fan and you like action figures. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.